Hey, it's Clayton and Jack,
Hey.
and we are here in Florence, Italy. Decided to flip on the camera again, and we've got a question that we hear a lot of women silently ask. They send it to us in confidence. It's a question that comes up in the groups that we do, in the private coaching that we do, and it's a question of, am I pretty enough for him? Am I good looking enough to him? And we want to really just cut right to the heart with this question, because if you are asking this question, it can really make you feel insecure in your relationship. It can build a lot of anxiety.
Yes.
Thinking that perhaps as you're getting older or as your body's changing, that somehow someone who's younger and better looking is going to come swoop in and steal your man away, or that you're not going to be able to find a guy that you're going to be able to create long-lasting love with. So, Jack, what's your comments on this? What do you think would be a way that we can begin to dive into the subject and help relieve some of this anxiety?
Yeah. So I think the essence of this is noticing if your inner critic is at play, right? Noticing that you're probably being hard on yourself,
Yeah.
right? We may vary in physical attractiveness. What's really attractive to a guy is a woman who owns herself, right? A woman who owns the ways in which she is beautiful, a woman who magnifies the ways that she's beautiful, a woman who expresses what's real and true, a woman who's growing, a woman who loves her own life. These things will always ultimately be more attractive, and particularly attracted to a guy who's in his heart, right? There are some guys that are pretty superficial.
Yeah.
If you want to attract a guy that you want a long-term relationship with, a high-quality man, you're going to want to be with someone that actually notices beauty and truth at a deeper level.
Yeah.
And so I think this is really about learning how to be more accepting and loving of yourself, because the places that you love and accept yourself, it's much more difficult to feel rejected by anyone else when you're fully accepting yourself.
Yeah.
And also where you're learning how to get embodied. That your attractiveness isn't just your face and your makeup and the ways that you make yourself up. It's the whole
Hip to
way
waist ratio.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually something deeper than that. It's actually how much you embody your truth, your essence, your, the beautiful, delightful way that you've been embodied in a female body. That is going to be much more attractive ultimately to a guy than the superficial way that your face looks.
Yeah, and so what I hear you saying about this love and acceptance of self, it's probably a message that you've heard that's been nailed into you from self-development courses and through spiritual books and even dating books that you may have read. And as cliche as it may sound, I just want to connect something here. When you learn to give yourself acceptance and you stop the negative self-comparison, what actually begins to surface and arise in the way that you will begin to impact men is they will actually begin to see you as sexy. See, confidence comes from being comfortable with yourself. Sexiness comes from accepting yourself. And what's really fascinating is if you are not, say, classically beautiful and you maybe wouldn't be on the cover of a magazine, what's wonderful about being sexy is that when a guy senses the confidence and the comfort that you have with yourself, there's even more admiration and respect for it, because he knows that it's not rooted in something that's superficial that will change in time, but rather it's rooted in something deeper. And what I think Jack's talking to is it's actually rooted in your value system. It's rooted in the ways that you are choosing to live life. It's rooted in the ways that you are choosing to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
And the way that you generate joy in your life. It's about creating a life for yourself in which you are your own best friend, and then inviting a man to be a part of that is truly sexy, and I believe impacts a guy and sets you apart from any other woman that's out there.
Yeah. Yeah, the one way of saying that is that you own your uniqueness, right? We all have uniqueness. We all have something that life has given us, a way of expressing, a way of thinking about the world, a way of feeling the world. And my uniqueness doesn't need to diminish your uniqueness.
Yeah.
Right, so we're trying to get out of the game of inferior, superior, negative comparison, positive comparison, and more that actually, I am who I am, and I'm going to own that and live that fully. That's where your fulfillment will come, not from trying to be someone else. And just as a quick aside and secret, most people who are very physically attractive have a hard time having deeper confidence, because most people are reacting and responding to them at this superficial level.
Yep.
So they don't actually know who they are inside, because they're just like, oh, you're super pretty, and that's what they see.
Yep.
So
they haven't had
don't
to
believe
develop
that just because you're
themselves.
quote unquote pretty that you get some kind of free pass and ride.
Right.
At the deeper level, spiritually speaking, emotionally speaking, you don't.
Yeah. It's one thing to generate attraction in a guy, with which may have something to do with some of the scientific evolutionary biology of the hip to waist ratio and symmetry and whatnot. But when it comes to actually cracking open a guy's heart, when it comes to creating a relationship that really lasts, it has less to do with that, and it has more to do with who you are as a person and the character and some of the foundational values that you live your life from.
Yeah. Yeah, so I hope this is an invitation for your own inquiry into how you are orienting to yourself, how kind and loving you are to the deeper and more unique parts of you, and how much are you letting them express. Because that frustration or that tendency to self-doubt or criticize yourself, that could be the end of you if you stay there, or it can be your opening into something deeper and richer, which life is calling forth from you.
That's beautiful. And to one last point that I want to make around this is, if you find yourself asking the question, am I pretty enough? Let's change that to, how do I make my life more beautiful? How do I see life through a lens that is more beautiful? And by doing that, you will step more into your sexiness, more into your power, and men will be intoxicated by it. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.